What's up? Eric B. Preston here, and in this video, I'm going to talk all about the Instagram algorithm in 2021 and all the changes you need to know. We're going to go over how likes, comments, shares, and even saves affect your content's exposure on Instagram and some of the changes they've made for this year. Then we're going to go into 3 big hacks that you can use to manipulate the algorithm to make sure you're getting the exposure that you need. So stay tuned for that. As always, be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the little bell if you want to get notified as soon as I drop new content like this. Really supports me, and I appreciate all of you guys watching. Now, let's get into it. Oh, and before I forget, if you want a PDF copy of my 2021 Instagram hacks, drop a comment below and I will make sure you get a copy. All right, so first things first, let's just explain how the algorithm works at a very high level. Then we're gonna go into likes, shares, saves, and comments, and what you need to know about those things, and then we'll get into our 3 hacks. So first things first is, how does the algorithm actually work? Well, to understand the algorithm, first you have to understand what is Facebook or Instagram's goal with ranking content. Well, their number 1 goal is to keep you on the platform and keep you using the platform so that they can serve more ads to you. That's as simple as I can put it. They are a company that makes 99% of their revenue from advertising, so they have a vested interest in you being on their platform longer, engaging with more content, and in order to do that, they need to put relevant content in front of you. So that's really important to understand. Now, the types of basically content that you're gonna see is dependent on how that content gets engaged with on Instagram. So at a very high level, what Instagram's doing is they're gauging how people are engaging with comments or likes or posts or whatever, and they're actually taking that information and they're using it to determine if content is something other people want to see or not. So that's a very high level understanding of it. So how it might work is something like this. So you make a post on Instagram, for example. Now, what Instagram's gonna do is they're gonna show that post in the feed to probably your most active followers. So the people that engage with your stuff on a regular basis, right? Pretty obvious. And you probably notice a lot of the same people liking your stuff a lot of the time, right? So what they're gonna do is they're gonna show that post to a certain number of people. So say you have 1,000 followers, they might show that post to like 50 people, let's say. Now, that's just an example, it's an arbitrary number. Now, it depends on how much engagement you get on a regular basis with your following, on how many people they're gonna show it to right away. But let's just say, for argument's sake, they show it to 50. Now, how it works is depending on how your followers engage with that content, Instagram is going to decide whether or not to show that content to more people or not to show it to anyone else at all, based on the engagement that that piece of content gets, because that's how Instagram decides whether or not they should start showing your content to more and more and more people, is whether or not they think other people are going to engage with it. And how they think other people are going to engage with it is by the people that have already engaged or not engaged with it. If everyone's just scrolling past it and not doing anything, they're probably thinking it's probably not the best content. I don't want to show this to our users because it's really not that exciting. It's not going to keep them on the platform, right? Going back to their main goal. So if people do engage with it, so they like it, they save it, they comment on it, they share it, that's a signal to Instagram's algorithm that your content's good. So instead of showing it to just those first 50 people, they might show it to, say, another 50 people. Now, depending on how those extra 50 people engage with that content, they might stop it there, or they might show it to another 50 people, or maybe another 100, right? And depending on how those other 100 people engage with your post, they might show it to another 100 or another 200. And that's how things go viral on the internet, is through engagement. Now, that's the Instagram algorithm at a very high level. Same thing goes for stories. If people are engaging with your stories, if they're viewing them at their whole length, your stories are slowly going to get higher and higher in people's feeds. If you go to the very last person in your stories on Instagram and you watch their stories a bunch, their stories are going to start showing up in your feed because the algorithm is thinking, whoa, you must be interested in this person that I didn't currently think you were interested in. So I'm going to start showing you that content. So at a very high level, that's really what we're looking at. Now, when we're talking about engagement on Instagram, there's 4 kinds, okay? Number 1, there is saves, which is the newest and kind of most popular type of engagement these days, which some people say is a super like. You might have heard that before, but saves is really the new comment. Now, saves is really what you want to go for when you're posting content on Instagram. It tells the algorithm on Instagram that people want to consume that content at a later date. Maybe it's a long form piece of content and they want to consume it later. So it's saying it's important enough that I'm going to save it and make time for it later. So that's one of the biggest things you can go for, okay? Number 2 is shares. So Shares is pretty obvious. If people share the post in their comments, if people share the post on their feed or in their stories, that is a good sign that your content is also interesting. Comments is the third one, and on Facebook, comments is the biggest thing. On Instagram, it's not quite the biggest thing, but it's right up there with saves. The reason is comments are getting your user base to actually engage with you. They're taking the time to actually engage and comment on whatever it is you're putting out there. Now, when you're talking about comments only really matter if they're over 3 words in length. So if someone just comments like heart emoji, it's not gonna do much for the algorithm. But if they comment like a question or something longer form, that will actually really help the algorithm rank. And the last one is likes. Now, unfortunately on Instagram, likes don't matter all that much these days. They still matter a little bit, but Instagram does not give that a whole ton of weight compared to the other types of engagements, comments, saves, and shares. So that is basically the Instagram algorithm at a high level. They're going for engagement on your content. There's 4 main types of engagement. Some are more valuable than others. The biggest ones are saves and comments. Those are the things you really, really want. And that's gonna help the algorithm push your content out there to more and more and more people to get you the exposure you want. So hope that makes sense. Let's get into our 3 hacks. Now, first thing is you want to manipulate your trust score and avoid getting shadow banned. So what do those 2 things mean? Well, your trust score is a score that you can't see that Instagram has on your profile, which basically says how trustworthy you are as a business or as a person, okay? So there's a few things you can do to get in Instagram's good books, and there's a few things you can do to get in Instagram's bad books. So shadow banning, this means they've looked at your profile, they've analyzed it, and they've said, you're likely a spam artist, you're likely a fake profile or something like that. They're saying that you're essentially not who you say you are, or you post a lot of spammy shit, to be honest. So don't post spammy shit. That's the biggest thing you can do. But here's the basic things you can do that are bad that you want to avoid doing. So number 1 is following and unfollowing really aggressively. You don't want to start just following people and unfollowing them. That's signaling to them that you're just trying to find people to follow you back. And if you do this hundreds of times a day, they look at that as like you're a spam account or something like that. And that is getting yourself on a path to being shadow banned. Now, just to explain what shadow ban means, it means they've essentially seen a lot of spammy behavior and they actually limit your account. So when you make a post and you have 1,000 followers, they might only show it to 5 people, 10 people instead of 50 people. And those people must follow you really closely, or maybe they won't show it to anyone at all. That's what getting shadow banned is. And you'll notice you've got shadow banned if you've been doing a lot of spammy stuff and all of a sudden your content doesn't get much exposure anymore. So number 1 is following and unfollowing aggressively. Number 2 is making repetitive comments. So, and hashtags, by the way. So if you comment on other people's posts, say, hey, lovely post, make sure you follow me here, blah, 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 like people do. Collab, hashtag collab, like it's Instagram, unfortunately these days, is really, really spammy. And I'm of the belief, similar to, I heard Gary Vee say this, that it kind of just feels like Instagram's on the decline. And these are the reasons why. And Instagram's really, really trying hard to remove these types of spammy people from Instagram, because it kind of just feels like Instagram's past its peak now. I don't have any data to support that, but you can just kind of feel it like you could with Facebook 4 or 5 years ago. So anyway, repetitive comments and hashtags, don't do that. That's a really big sign to them that you're just spamming for follows or whatever it is. And a lot of these kind of tricks you see on the internet to like grow your following are these exact spammy things that worked 3 years ago of someone saying, hey, check out how I grew my Instagram following from 0 to like 20,000 followers in just a few months. Well, it's probably because they were doing some spammy shit. And that's the exact kind of stuff that will get you in trouble today. So avoid it. Number 3 is messaging people that don't follow you, okay? So don't message people that don't follow you at a mass scale. That's just telling Instagram straight up that you're a spammy person. Do you ever get message requests on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and whatever from people trying to sell you something or just some spammy message? It happens all the time. They're trying to avoid that. So number 3, don't message at mass a bunch of people who don't follow you or you don't follow. Like, it's just not a good idea. Number 4 is fake followers, comments, and likes. So if you get fake followers in 2021, you're gonna have to buy fake likes too. And Instagram's getting pretty good at figuring out what accounts are fake and what aren't. So don't buy fake followers to begin with, because they're not going to engage with your content. And if you don't get your content engaged with, well, you're not going to get in Instagram's good books. Your content isn't going to go anywhere, and it's just going to stranglehold you. So don't buy likes or followers from the beginning, and don't buy likes either. But buying those things will get you shadow banned if they figure it out. Now, last one, number 5 of the bad is posting too many times per day. Now, if you listen to Gary Vee like I do, and probably a lot of you out there do, he says post 80 pieces of content a day or whatever. Now, for most people, that's not necessarily realistic. He has a full-time video guy following him around doing this stuff for him, but you can get up to, 5 to 10 posts a day. That's fine. But if you start posting like so aggressively that it's like 20, 30, 40 times a day just on Instagram, that might be a sign that they might audit you. And if you're posting some spammy shit, they might shadow ban you in that case. So those are the 5 things that you need to know to avoid getting shadow banned and to keep your trust score high. Now, what are things you can do that are good for your trust score that will avoid getting shadow banned? Well, there's 4 main things I want to talk about here. So number 1 is posting consistently, not constantly, consistently. So consistently meaning you could post 3 or 4 times a day. If you're doing that every day and you're getting a decent amount of engagement, that tells Instagram you're posting a lot, you're creating a lot of content for its platform, you're keeping people on Instagram, you're keeping people interested in the platform. So that's a good thing. Post consistently, not constantly. Number 2 is commenting and liking on people's posts in your newsfeed. Instagram wants its users to actually engage with people that follow them, that they follow. Like, they want to keep it an engaging platform. So if you're someone who just posts, doesn't engage with anyone else, that's not going to really do you much good. So it's good if you can go out there and you can actually like and you can comment and you can get engaged with the people who follow you. And it's a great way to get those people to engage back with you. Now, going back to how important getting engagement is from the people that follow you, this is a great way to do it. So make sure that you're going out there, you're commenting on your friends or your followers' posts, you're liking them, and you're showing that you're an active user and you're not just kind of blasting out your own information without actually using the platform itself. So that's number 2. Number 3 is removing false followers. So you can actually remove followers, and how you would do that is essentially go to your profile, look at your followers, and you can remove them. But why would you want to do that? Well, false followers, fake followers, you might have, if you have 1,000 followers, you might have up to 100 who are totally fake and are not relevant to you, maybe aren't in your industry or whatever. If you actually remove those people, it'll be good for you, because the algorithm will show those people content and they won't engage with anything that you put because they're not really in your niche, or they're not following your business, or they're not actually your friend. And that actually hurts your content's performance because these people aren't actually engaging with it. So that's number 3, is make sure that you can remove some followers that aren't relevant to you. And lastly is actually engaging with your audience. So what do I mean by this? Well, we talked about commenting on other people's posts, liking other people's posts, but engaging with your audience, meaning replying to comments that they make on your posts, replying to messages that they send you, getting engaged with the people who actually follow you is going to be a huge benefit for your trust score to move you up in Instagram's books and make sure your content is hitting more and more people. So that is hack number 1, is make sure you manipulate the algorithm in your favor by being a good Instagram user, as they would call it, getting your trust score up and making sure you don't get shadow banned by doing spammy shit. Hack number 2 is engage with and follow your audience. So I know I just said that you don't want to go around and follow hundreds of accounts a day because that's considered spammy. Now, you still shouldn't do that, but it's a good best practice to actually follow back your audience of people that follow you, people that engage with your content, are following you, are engaging with you regularly. Or what you can do is follow a hashtag that's relevant to your industry. Like, I'm in real estate coaching, so I might follow a hashtag like hashtag real estate agent or hashtag realtor life. Might be hashtags that I would actually look to follow. And then I would go through and I would engage with other real estate agents' posts, and I would go to their profiles and I would actually follow them. And there's a good chance that some of them are actually going to follow me back. Now, I don't want to do this in a spammy way. If I follow 10 people a day, no big deal. I actually know, statistically speaking, 30% of them are going to follow me back. So you can do this where you follow accounts, hoping people follow you back. And if people don't follow you back at some point, you can just unfollow them as well. Not a big deal. But you don't want to take this to the extreme where you're actually doing this, 50, 80, 100 times a day, where you're just following everybody and then unfollowing them when they don't follow you back. That's seen in Instagram's eyes as bad behavior, and that can get you shadow banned. But if you do this in a way where you actually go through a hashtag feed and you like and engage with posts that other people are putting up, and then you go to their account and you follow them after, and you do this, 10, 20 accounts on some days. You just follow them, and then you can go back and you can unfollow them later. That's okay. But this is a great way to build your following, because if you can do 100 people a week and 30% follow you back, you get 30 followers per week. You scale that up over 100 days, and that's 3,000 followers. So you know what I'm saying is, if you do this consistently, going back to being consistently, you can actually build a following. But the important thing to note is you're building a following of people who are active on Instagram. So think about that when you're going into a hashtag feed. So I follow like hashtag real estate agent or hashtag realtor life, because I'm in real estate coaching. Now, if you're a real estate agent, you can follow me here at Eric B. Preston. Now, I might go into those hashtags like realtor life or something like that, because I know the people that are posting on them are realtors. I might go through and I might like some posts I'm interested in. And if I'm actually like what people are putting out there, because I don't just follow anyone, I'll actually go in and I'll follow them. And I know statistically speaking, 30% of them will probably follow me back. So that's a great way to actually build your following and build it with the right people. So that's kind of a targeted strategy you can use to engage with people who are putting out content you like and who are in your target audience. So that is hack number 2, is make sure you're following hashtags that are relevant to your industry that you want to get exposure in. Follow people who are already posting in those hashtags, right? And then hopefully some of them follow you back. They're gonna check out your profile. So you wanna make sure you have a clean profile that's worth following and states very clearly what it is that you do. Again, check out my Instagram account if you wanna see how to kind of set up your Instagram profile properly. But you want to very clearly state what it is you do, because people are just gonna glance at your profile and you want them to be able to follow you straight away. So that is hack number 2, is make sure you engage with your audience and follow them and participate in Instagram. Hack number 3 is use Reels, okay? Instagram is on a huge pushing Reels right now. So they're actually overemphasizing Reels in the algorithm. Now, you've all heard of Reels. It's the thing that Instagram stole from TikTok to compete with them, right? That's it. They stole stories from, you name it, Snapchat. They're stealing Reels from TikTok. They're trying to just steal things from everyone, so they just need to be on Instagram. Now, really smart move, obviously, but they're really trying to push Reels because a lot of people aren't comfortable or used to using them yet. Make sure if you're trying to grow your Instagram profile that you're actually doing a Reel once a week at least to get yourself out there. It can just be something silly and funny. That's kind of the nature of Reels for the most part, but you want to make sure you're using them because they're giving Reels a ton of exposure right now and they can get you a lot of followers. So my last hack is make sure you're utilizing Reels, because Instagram right now has come out and said they're actually overemphasizing the exposure of Reels in the algorithm this year to make sure that they can get Reels becoming as popular of a thing as they are on TikTok, because they want to kill TikTok. So very obvious. Make sure you're making some Reels. They don't have to be professional. They don't have to be like that well thought out. They can just be silly and fun, but use them and make sure that you're getting into the right hashtag searches. So by using the correct hashtags to get into the right hashtag searches that your target audience might be a part of, right? So my target audience a lot of times lives in the hashtag real estate. So I'm always gonna do hashtag real estate because I know there's a lot of real estate agents that follow that hashtag that might follow me when I put my content out there. So that's my last hack for the Instagram algorithm. In summary, it's important to understand the Facebook and Instagram algorithms are all about engagement. There's a few different kinds of engagement: likes, comments, shares, and saves. Saves are the biggest thing you can get today. Saves are the new comments. So you really want to get people saving your content, commenting long form comments on your content. You want to use Reels and you don't want to get shadow banned. You want to get in Instagram's good books so your content gets consistent exposure. You want to post regularly and consistently, but you don't want to do any spammy shit. To summarize, that's all I got for you today. As always, like I said, smash that subscribe button. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, hit that dislike button if you didn't. At the end of the day, any content helps support my channel. I'd appreciate the subscribe. It really helps me grow and keeps creating content for you guys at the end of the day. So I appreciate you. All right, I'm gonna leave you with a couple videos here. If you're a real estate agent, check out my Google Ads video, because I'm super bullish on Google Ads. As you'll know, that's why I started a Google Ads agency that does lead generation for real estate agents. It helps you generate leads from Google search results and steal those leads away from Zillow. If you're interested in chatting with me about having my team run your Google Ads to help you generate an abundance of leads to fill your 30, 60, 90-day pipeline in 2021, well, leave a comment below. I'm happy to engage with you. We can set up a time to chat if you're of interest. All you need is an IDX website and a willingness to prospect the leads that I'm going to generate for you. And that's all I got for today. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you in the next video.